haven't done a video in a while. It's been hectic. Summer break is finally over, so I'm back in Clemson with Cutie here. And so we just stopped at Walmart and we are on the way to Greenville Mall, where we will go to, we'll probably stop by GameStop, and then we're gonna go to, what's the name?
Build-A-Bear?
Build-A-Bear, and see if Cutie here will get yet another Build-A-Bear. Probably.
I'll go to the van store and a couple other places, so we had to stop to get a new transport chair, or a new wheelchair, not a transport chair. Because mine decided to crap out after 2 months, but this one feels better quality and it seems to work better, so hopefully knock on wood.
First half week of classes was hectic, but yeah, rough, but hopefully we'll be okay. I mean, the stuff with YAF and everything. I'm the treasurer of the Young Americans for Freedom chapter on campus, so gotta stop by the bank this upcoming week. And then, I homework assignments for me were rough. After the first day, I had a 90-page reading assignment in one class, a 20-page in another, a 20-page in another, and then a 30-page in another. And I have a quiz on Monday, so we'll see how all that goes. I did most of the reading.
Fair. First week was okay. I have some homework to do and some things to scan in and get done so I can get through the hospital system certified, whatever. I have the mostly Tuesday, Thursday classes. I have one Monday class, and work has been hectic because we're getting in new people and all of that, and that's fun and will be nice later in the semester. But right now it means training, which means I'm working every day. I could possibly work. It means I can save up and save money and get stuff and take care of my health later on, but right now it sucks. So, but I get to hopefully end that soon. Health has been okay, but health is health. Yeah, so far classes seem interesting and all of that, but
Okay, so we didn't film it all in the mall, and to be completely fair, I was pushing her around sometimes in her wheelchair, and there were a lot of people, and yeah. But we got some of the stuff, that we needed. She got some new shoes, which was good. She needed shoes.
But we got some stuff at the mall, and we're head to Walmart now. I gotta pick up food for my sickly cat that decided to crap all over the floor yesterday. Her sensitive food, because I'm out of it, because she's a sensitive cat like me, like her mama. She has chronic illness, or what the hell ever she wants to call it. But
At least I'm healthy, for the most part.
can you truly say that with a straight face? You can't say anything with a straight face.
It's 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. That's like the 8th gay joke that she's told today.
I can't help but tell gay jokes when I'm around you.
You can't help but tell gay jokes.
That's true. Or depression jokes. That's my shtick.
I tell dad jokes. I don't think I've told one on camera yet, but I'll catch it one day and you'll see I do tell dad jokes. I'm basically a 50-year-old balding
Our
man.
kids are gonna get stuck in
this
an
body.
infinite loop of go ask your mother and have twice as many dad jokes, because my appropriate jokes are all dad jokes. I'm not gonna tell my kid depression jokes. That's just not cool. Unethical.
Also, I don't know how people film in the damn car without phone moving everywhere. Jesus Christ.
Phone mount.
Do you think Jesus Christ, if he was filming in a car, would just like levitate it?
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Also, phone
Maybe see
mounts.
that.
Phone mounts. How much do you think I can pay for a phone mount? I'm an English major.
They're like $10 at Walmart.
I've had 3 internships at this point. I have yet to make any money. Okay, so hi guys. It's been a little bit, but we've had quite a busy last 24 hours. So last night, the night before this current one, Beautiful here goes to wash the dishes, and she's standing there right in front of the sink, and then conks out and doesn't get down on the ground first. So she hits her head on the ground, which is fun, and then calls me in there, and then I'm like checking on her and making sure she's not keeling over, stroking out, or whatever. But to make sure that she's safe and healthy in the head.
Have I ever been healthy in the head?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm not. I'm very much not.
Okay, so we end up going to the ER to get her examined and stuff by a doctor. And we get to the ER around, 11?
Yeah.
Which is late, and you guys know how the ERs are and stuff. And so there was actually a few weird people in the ER, which might be a separate video, might go into this one, maybe. Yeah. But basically took about an hour, finally got back into a room, and then she got examined. Everything was okay. The doctor said she might be slightly concussed, but didn't show much concern. Offered to give her, an MRI? CT. I don't know. Thanks, don't. CT. Okay. To actually get a good look, and we said no because she was so neurologically intact at that point. You had a little bit of extra nausea, but
nausea and dry heaving and hell of a lot worse headache.
Yeah. But she's all good, but we were in the ER till about 3 a.m. No, 2 a.m.
2 a.m. We got back at like 2:30.
2:30, and then we went to bed at like 3.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a late night and really tiring for both of us. And then today was rough. So thankfully most of her professors are good with her chronic illness stuff. And we're in the same sign language class together, so I went to class, but she didn't. Miss slightly concussed here, didn't go to class, which is
says the
fine.
Doctor who barely even touched my head.
Yeah, he just he did what I do. He woo boop. It's basically the neurological exam he gave her. Don't roll your eyes at me. What are you rolling your eyes at? I love
not
you,
at
but
you.
Not at me.
Not at you. Not the dumbass doctor. He also, I had mentioned hip pain, like worsening hip pain, because that's its own issue, but so yeah, it got a lot worse, and I didn't even look at it. He was just like, what's the worst thing? And then was like, cool, I'll send you home.
Gave her a Fiora set, and Fiora set doesn't even work on her, so it works with me, but everyone's different. And he was definitely, at least we got discharged quickly afterward. Not like last time where we sat for like 50 minutes trying to get discharged. But you know, we got back safely and everything. And today, so I woke up around maybe like 9:30, and it's ring week here at Clemson, which means from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Alumni Center, you can order your class ring. I was okayed by my parents to order my class ring. Problem is, I have Tuesday mostly open. Tuesday, today. Wednesday, I don't have any openings. Monday, I barely do. So, Beautiful here drove me to the Alumni Center, and we went in and ordered my ring. And then she dropped me off at the library, and I walked to the Academic Success Center for my ASL class, in which the professor there, Jason Herdich, was, he's really nice and understanding, and just said he hopes you get better. I told him you were slightly concussed. I didn't just say you went to the ER. I was like, the doctor told us you might be concussed. So I think she is, because she's acting like she's tipsy when she's sober, and it's very odd. She's not. She doesn't do it all the time, but she very easily slips into it. But, okay, so these weird people at the hospital, okay. There was one guy in the waiting room, older, really thick glasses, looked homeless, more homeless than the average person. And from what we overheard, because obviously you have cops sitting in the waiting room just making sure everything is orderly, and from what we heard with the interactions between this homeless looking man and the cops, the homeless looking man kept asking the cops to take him home, and obviously they won't do that because they're not a taxi. So, Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Okay.
Hey.
I love you too.
But yeah, they wouldn't take him home, and they kept, they're like, we can get you a list of taxi services, but the only other place we can take you to is jail, and you've been there quite a bit recently. And so at that point I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I get it. Later on, this one cop says, you have called the ambulance 15 times in the past 3 days to check you out, and every time they discharge you saying you're fine. That's jail worthy. Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's not even that. They call the ambulance, or he called the ambulance, and then he'd never get a ride home. He kept having to do all of this same stuff. From what it sounded like, he had just been to jail like that morning for doing this same exact thing, and when they told him to leave, he just wouldn't because he didn't have a ride. But then he did it again.
It's very odd. He definitely was just walking around the waiting room, kind of just waiting. I mean, he tried calling a taxi, but then he hung up on the guy, like, mid-sentence. It was weird. But other than that, so when we're back in the room, and Gorgeous here is, she's hooked up to a monitor and all that.
Continuous heart monitor, pulse, and oxygen and all of that, because they wanted to make a show. I don't know.
I love you.
I love you too.
So we're back there, and there's no like front wall. It's just one of those privacy curtains, right? And so I was reading Hitchhiker's Guide to You, and I looked over, and through like the little crack in the privacy curtain, I see this like pretty big guy in an orange suit. I'm like, what? What's that? And then you hear the clink, 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 and I'm like, that's a prisoner. That's a bad guy. Not the Billie Eilish kind. That's an actual bad guy.
There was a cute little baby that was in the ER, and luckily we were in the waiting room until probably like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Mind you, we got discharged at 2, so the majority of our time was in the waiting room because, of course. But luckily, they took the baby back first, and then a little girl with little girl crutches came by.
But yeah, we got out of there and now we're just dying. So that's our update. We're probably gonna conk out for the night. I am currently playing Fire Emblem. I need to read for my Histories of the English Language class. Also, what?
I said, look who's talking.
You.
I'm an old woman.
But my body is now falling apart, and my body is not normally falling apart, so that's fun. Oh,
It's
God.
the first full week of classes, second week of classes, and we're doing swell. Still won't have gone to more than a day's worth of class in a week. So we're doing good.
Okay, guys. Well, that's our update, and we will talk to you later if this ever gets made into a video, because our vlogging channel has just come to a dead fucking stop. So we'll see. Okay, guys. Good night.